So welcome all to the SIT chat, and a very brief introduction about me. My name is Dinakar. I am a consultant. I've been working with companies for the last 10 years to help them improve their performance, and also a member of the governing council of SIT. And as part of that role, I have taken the responsibility of organizing SIT chat, a platform for discussing and chatting about topics of importance to startups. And today we have our Dr. Rajiv Dalmia sharing us on the way companies are valuated. You know, from an investor perspective, what do they look for when the company is being valuated? And let us listen to him. And after that, we can have a discussion. And it would also be nice if the other experts, for example, Ramesh, you're also doing investments, etc. If you can also give some insight into valuation. So let's go to Rajiv Dalmia. Over to you, Rajiv. Please introduce yourself, and after that, you can please make the presentation.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Rajiv Dalmia, and I'm really part of two companies, but mainly the company through which our perspective, through which I will be sharing today, future relevant consulting. This company typically has four service lines. One is CR, which is startup evaluation as a service, where we help startups to get to a stage where they are confident that they are investor ready. Second is Investors, where we help individuals as well as corporates and startups for their funding, financing, or loan use. Third is Technofy, where we help industry solutions of any startup get the technology flavor. So we Technofy the industry solutions. And fourth is Abhivekti, where we in the entire startup ecosystem, the most neglected piece is the families of the startup founders. And during the hardship journey of startup founders, the family members who are neglected and going through some psychological phases, we do psychology counseling for them. So these are the typical four services. Now, quickly jumping into the topic for today, in terms of valuation drivers for a startup, especially from an investor's perspective. A few things. Before this session, people reached out and.
Rajiv ji, just one smart interruption. I believe for some your voice is not clear. Can others confirm that is it not clear?
Is it? Okay. Just give me a...
So let's wait for a minute. He would join. Good that you messaged in the chat, Rohit. Otherwise, we would have possibly been continuing like this.
My pleasure, sir.
No?
Yeah, Rohit ji, now you can speak.
I can't hear anyone.
Sir, आपकी आवाज एकदम साफ आ रही है.
Reconnect.
Your voice is clear now.
Voice is clear now, but we can't hear you. You can't hear us.
I think, has he gone and joining again?
Yeah, he said he will rejoin again.
Okay.
Sometimes technology could be an issue.
Technology is what to say?
It's a very favorable enabler, but sometimes it plays around.
Yeah, so let's see if this is better now.
Yeah, better, definitely.
Great,
Okay.
Yeah, very super.
Thank you very much. Amazing.
Sorry for that interruption. Please go on, continue. Yeah.
So just before this session, few people reached out, and what I gather is the feeling is that this topic is very critical and important for most people. Hence, I'll try to keep it a limited discussion topic for today, and then we can have follow-up sessions on other important topics. Things like, how do we evaluate? What are the various ways to do this? Parameters involved and so on. We can keep it as follow-up session. So we'll keep maybe 2-3 topics for today and deep dive into that if required based on questions. Second, as Dinakar always already mentioned,
will be good if others can also pitch in, especially if we have some CAs and some real financial, background people in the call. That would be nice to have it, right? So straightforward, jumping into, according to me, which are the main valuation drivers of a startup from an investor's perspective? Then I say it is typically, first is technology. Investors' first question would be, are you a tech company? Today's premise, I mean, startups valuation a few years back would have been different. The way they were looking at things was different. But in today's scenario, this is the first question they ask. Are you tech enabled? Are you a tech company? Second is revenue. Are you making some revenue already? The revenue can be very small. It can be $1, just first month billing or things like that. But are you already making revenue? What that gives assurance to the investors is that this is a working model. This is a workable model, right? And then sustainability and all can be tested, obviously, but it's a workable model. And third is growth, in terms of, are you growing fast? What speed are you growing? Are you growing just by leaps or bounds or just slowly growing? So these are the three typical drivers. Now, based on, again, the discussions I had even with Dinakarji, what I feel is, if we are able to create a 2x2 matrix, right? Typically keeping these two parameters in mind. One is, are you a tech company? Yes and no. And are you already making some revenue? Yes and no, right? It will be very easy to arrive at the fundamental question for any startup founder to arrive at, is it the right time to raise funds? And what should be my purpose to raise funds, right? So let's go into a simple, that 2x2 matrix as I was explaining. So just imagine three columns, right? First column is, are you a tech company? Second column is, are you making revenues already? And third column is the time and purpose of raising the fund, right? So first, if suppose the answer is no, I'm not a tech company, no, I'm not making revenue already, right? I mean, it would be good if, whoever wants to just make with a pen and paper, just make this. It will be very, very clear. So tech company, no. Revenue making already, no. Then in that scenario, it's nearly impossible to raise money first, right? So the typical advice I give to such startups is, when you get to a revenue point, then take a shot of raising the revenue, right? And third point is, in this scenario, you will raise your funds or money for growth, right? Is this clear so far?
Yeah, I think so. You can, anybody wants any clarification, please ask, otherwise let him go ahead.
Let's go to the second scenario where, are you a tech company? Yes, I'm a tech company, but I'm not making revenue already, right? So yes, no. In this kind of scenario, again, the three answers. First, it's hard for you to raise funds now. It's not impossible, but it's hard because you are a tech company. Now, when do I suggest them to raise fund? When the startups have an MVP in hand already. Once a minimal viable product is ready, then go for raising the fund. And the third question gets answered in this parameter is, you should raise your fund for the launch because you have an MVP. So raise the funds and use it for your launch, right? The third scenario is, are you a tech company? No, I'm not a tech company, but I'm making revenues already, right? So you're making revenue. So the three answers. When can you raise funds? You can actually raise fund anytime, right? But when do I advise you to raise fund? Raise fund when you get to a profitability. If the revenue is giving you some good profits, raise funds. Otherwise, what happens is, if you're making revenue, but you're not a tech company, you will be in back foot. And startups will always land up underselling themselves, right? And what do you use your fund for if you raise at this time? Raise it for scaling. You're already making revenue. Use the funds and scale it up, right? Now the fourth parameters, both answers are yes. You're a tech company, you're already making revenue, right? The three answers will be get to a point of, positive economics, and then you raise funds in this case, because after paying all the cost attached to the transactions and all, you are making money. That means you are on positive economics. That is the right time to sell your, raise funds. And what do you use your funds for now? You use this for growth. You're already a tech company, tick mark, you are already making revenue. So now you can use these funds for growth. I'll pause for a while and I'll take questions on this 2x2 matrix. It's a very helpful matrix. It always helps me when I'm evaluating any of the startups. Very handy. Any questions on this so far? Or anyone wants to add anything?
So, Rajiv, I have basically done this matrix. I will share it. I don't know if anybody else noted it down. Can you hear me now?
Something is not right.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I am able to hear you now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what some problem was there. So I want to share my screen and then you see if I've written it down correctly. And then we can get the others also to see. Is this correct? No tech, no revenue. It's not possible is what you say. Is it correct? Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, we can see your screen. I think
yes, we can see.
No tech, no revenue, not possible. Is it correct, Rajiv ji?
Yes.
Okay. No tech, no revenue. Key is to have a MVP.
No tech, no revenue, not possible. Then you are a tech company, but no revenue. Then it is hard. Then you need to go into an MVP. You should have.
Correct. That means it's a tech company, but no revenue. You need to get a MVP done. That is the key thing.
Correct.
For
and
raising
use your funds for launch.
And this is for launch, for product launch.
And in the first scenario, you should use your fund for growth.
I know in the first scenario, there is no scenario at all. No tech, no revenue. You said it's not possible at all.
It's not possible, but just in case you land up getting some revenue,
use it for.
Or when you get to a revenue stage,
okay,
right, then raise the funds and use it for growth.
That will then come here. Tech company, but revenues are there. Not tech company, revenues are there. Key is to get EBITDA or the profitability.
Correct.
In which case it is used for scaling.
Correct.
And then tech company which already has revenue. Here you spoke about improving profitability. What did you say here?
Yes. So get to a stage of unit positive economics. That is after paying all the cost attached to any transaction. If you are still making some profit, that time you should raise fund and use it for growth.
That means you need to have positive EBITDA, or is it positive cumulative EBITDA?
EBITDA.
No, cumulative EBITDA only at that particular moment, monthly EBITDA, for example.
Yes, exactly. Monthly EBITDA also is fine. So you have reached a positive EBITDA. Okay. So now it is a proven model. You are a tech company. You are making revenues as well as profit.
Okay. Now my question is, this EBITDA, is it only for that month, or do you say that it needs to be a cumulative EBITDA from the time it started?
No, that is not possible quickly.
That's not possible. Okay.
So then just please break even, for example.
Okay. Then it is for growth here. Use it for growth.
Yes.
Now, okay. So now from the other participants, do you have any question on this? This matrix seems to be quite easy, isn't it? Or any question, any comment?
Quite clear. And I have messaged 2 points on the chat window.
Yeah.
Dalmia sir can validate that as well.
Yeah, let me just read the chat window. 1 second.
Yeah, please.
Rajiv ji, you can see the chat window?
Hang on, I'll just open it. Yes.
Here he says, first basic thing which founders misses, are they really running a startup? Definition of startup should be clear. Startup should be a problem solving, not just another service company. Yeah, that's what Rohit says. Any comment on that?
Sure. So see, various, school of thoughts when it comes to defining what is a startup actually, right? For example, I have set of investors who feel any company which, is less than 2 years old, I'll classify as startup. Other set of investors, they say we'll take up to 5 years. So startup definition is varied in and measured in different ways. So we'll leave that for now. But as far as the second point is concerned, that's a very valid point. And I always say this. See, any startup founder who falls in love with the solution they have created is bound to fail, right? The startup founders, the first piece of advice we should give is fall in love with your problem, never your solution. So if you love your problem, you will be open to the idea of pivoting your solutions. And we are ready to, reinvent your solution, in whatever right way, right direction, and as directed, you'll end up creating the best solution, right? So you are absolutely right. It should be problem solving, not just service company or not just a solution that you think is the best.
Okay, yeah, see, Rajiv, I have a fundamental question. See, if you look at it, when we look at founders and startup, there are a lot of people who are in the conventional space. It could be somebody who is doing conventional organic foods. Somebody could be doing conventional, what can they say, trading of some special artisans. Yes. Okay. Yes. So there, I remember you telling me that, first of all, the first strategy should be to get them to become tech enabled. That means we should, tech is the only channel for us to get revenue, get funding today. Is that correct? Is that understanding correct?
I will not, say the only avenue to get funding, but going by the current temperament in the funding market, investors, inclinations, I will say tech is the best source, best way to get funded. Say for example, I'll give you one of the startups that I've recently started working with. So this guy came to me saying, and I'll change the parameters slightly just to keep the things in perspective. An agriculturist, a farmer came to me saying, I have done so many things, and because of which, for example, ginger today available at 100 rupees kg in market, I can give it for 10 rupees per kg. Okay, because of things which I have invented. Mm-hmm. But the fundamental question was, well, despite this great achievement, there was not a single investor ready to fund, despite the fact that agriculture is most liked sector as of today. Mm-hmm. No funder was ready to invest. Mm-hmm. And all of them were jumping to investment as soon as it became an agri-tech instead of a plain agri company. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I will not say it's the only parameter, but that's the best avenue to get funding in today's scenario.
Okay. Rameshji, would you want to comment on this? This is a very, this matrix, what we have done, seems very interesting to me. Would you like to comment on this? Rameshji, are you there?
So can I add my 2 points on this?
Yes, Dinakar.
Yeah, no, Ramesh, I was wondering, this matrix which we have done seems to be extremely critical, because in our SIT group, it is not necessary that people are all in the tech space. There are people who are not in the tech space also.
Correct.
So what would you tell to them? If this is what Rajiv said. This is the way the market is today. How would we address their needs of trying to get some funding done?
Correct.
How would that be? What is your take on that? Because that's something very key. Please go on.
Yeah, Rajiv's input is very valid, but Dinakar, however, for the benefit of SIT members, I will rephrase it, put it in our SIT members' language. Yeah. See, normally what investor looks for in venture is scale. Will this business scale? Will it multiply the money? Because investor is only interested in money multiplication.
Okay.
They are least bothered from your core product services. Of course, they may understand your core, but for them, the interest is, can I believe on this team? Can I multiply money?
Okay.
But the multiplication is only possible through scale. Mm-hmm. And scale is only possible if you can use technology. Otherwise, you will say that 10 people are getting me 10 lakh revenue. If I put 30 people, I will make 30 lakh revenue. There is no scale. You are resource dependent, and by not using technology, you are not going to get the leverage. The leverage is not only important for the investor, it is also important for the venture, for the entrepreneur, because the system have to generate the free cash flow. If not first year, second year, you should be more profitable. Third year, you should be more profitable. So as long as the system can generate the cash flow, free cash flow, they will have the ability, A, to give the exit to the investor. B, they will have the ability to use that money for their growth agenda. Therefore, Rajiv's wisdom have to be interpreted in such a way that I may not be a technology player. Even I may be selling tomatoes, or I may be selling the artisan crafts. As long as if I think that, okay, I will use one website, I will use one mobile, I will use digital marketing. Therefore, with little or very minimal cost input, I will generate more revenue. That scalability should come into the equation. So investor will look for, okay, if you're not profitable first year, I'm okay, but are you profitable in year 2? Are you profitable in year 3? Do you have the free cash flow generation possible in your business is what they will look for. Whether you sell tomatoes, whether you sell artisan crafts, doesn't matter for investor. Investor first sees, is it scalable? Can the money be multiplied? Then they will come in. That's what Rajiv is trying to put it in the investor's language. Hope, Dinakar, you got the answer now.
Yeah, correct. I think that what you said is very, very true. Now you say that any founding company should look at two things. One is the primary business model, that it should be fetching positive outcome in terms of financial outcome should be positive, favorable. And the next is that it should be scalable. These are the two fundamental criteria. Is it correct?
That's correct. Because finally you have to return the money, right? 3x, 5x, 10x, whatever negotiated, whether it's equity funding or debt funding, it's all boiling down to, can I return my promises to investor? And once investor goes away after the exit, can the company survive on its own? You can survive on your own only if you have that free cash flow in your business.
So here we are talking about 10x, is it, Rajiv ji? What would be the 10x?
Let me add two more simple points to the first red bracket you have put.
Yeah.
I'm not saying not possible. What I'm saying is near impossible. There is a difference. One is near impossible. Second point is, you asked me, there are many companies that we have in our SIT group which may not be tech. So what is the way out?
Yeah.
Simple way out is, I'm not saying you can be a tech company immediately, overnight. So there are two ways out. One, get to a stage of revenue making. You are a startup, your ultimate aim is to make revenue and then profit. So get to a stage of revenue making. As soon as you get to a stage of making revenue, take a shot of raising funds there.
So here we come to the other this quadrant. I'll put it as a different one color, maybe blue color. So this quadrant, now here, if suppose we come to this quadrant, now in your opinion, when we talk about revenue making, let us say, what is the EBITDA that is that should be the target before really approaching for a funding? What would in your opinion be the right number?
Okay. So before I answer that, let me just complete the first one.
Yeah.
So first way out is get to a stage of making revenue, raise funds, use it for growth. Second parameter is, say for example, the way we do it, Technofy services, which I said, there is always a way to add a tech flavor to your industry, plain vanilla industry solution. So start adding the tech flavor to your solution. Now, how do we define or say that what is tech for a plain vanilla solution? See, tech in the investor's language is very simple. Anything which is like tool or technique or process, or anything which is digital, anything which is like where information technology is used, or electronics, robotics, AI, any such technology is used. It can be even analytics. It can be a simple mobile app, right? As soon as
okay. So when you say tech, you are not talking about only information technology. It could be, for example, if somebody is doing a specialized plasma coating for aerospace, that is also technology.
Yes, till the time there is a way to see the outreach and understanding of that technology or that whatever, say plasma coating, should be something which is very technical, and obviously in the technology sense. For example, I'll tell you something. There is a solar panel company, startup company. Okay, now the additional coating they are doing on the solar panels is micro levels, which makes it possible for the solar panels to be painted with this solid paints in the manufacturing places itself. The current solar panels which are installed, the final coating is done at the last stage after installations, right? So this small difference is making that company, right?
Yeah, correct. Other way of interpreting, Dinakar, to answer your question, I am still a tomato vendor. I am still selling the artisan scraps. But if I have only that tallu bandi, that push cart, and if I don't have the Paytm QR code, I don't have a website, then I can get customers only who can come to my push cart. Mm-hmm. In that case, my business's ability to sell more is limited, because whoever come to my push cart on that day, they buy that artisan haircut or tomato. Mm-hmm. But I say that, yeah, there is a QR code available. There is a website available. Anybody can place an order. I will deliver tomato to you. I still sell tomato physically to the physical guy who came to my push cart. Mm-hmm. I will also sell tomato who did not come to my push cart physically. Mm-hmm. It is an example of using what tools, process, techniques. Therefore, when Dr. Rajiv means techniques, methods, tools, such that I will have the ability to reach out to my customer in a non-linear fashion.
Okay. Okay. That means the growth, the revenue growth should be now exponential. And for exponential revenue growth, if you have got a solution, then it is acceptable.
That's correct. If I put it in other words, negatively, let us put it. I am a tomato seller. I sell it only in my push cart. No technology, no mobile app, no QR code. Mm-hmm. Even physical guy who comes in, he says, hey, I don't have a cash. I did not bring my purse. I have my mobile phone. I can pay you. You will say, no, sir, you give me cash. Then you are losing the business, saying it negatively. Mm-hmm. You can ask, hey, I am a tomato vendor. Why should I use information technology? Why should I use mobile app? You have a very logical question. Mm-hmm. Whereas investor says, no, don't lose an opportunity. Are you using tools, techniques, processes, methods? It can be anything, mobile app, to website, to digital marketing, anything. In such a way that you don't lose your opportunity. A. B. You establish non-linear relationship. C. I wanted to know whether is my money safe. We may say that equity funding, debt funding. At the end of the day, I, as a tomato vendor, I am responsible to return that rewards, my promises, back to the investor.
Okay. Understood. So are any questions from others? So this, for me, it was a very, what should I say, enlightening discussion. For any question from others, please go on. Introduce yourself and ask the question, please. I'll just save this and unshare my screen. Yeah, please go on. If you want to ask a question, you can either type out in the chat box, or you are welcome to ask the question directly by speaking, whichever is comfortable to you.
Okay, meanwhile, while others think of the questions, I will quickly try to answer your question, Dinakarji. On the, you asked that what should be the least EBITDA, for raising funds, right? See, there is no fixed threshold in terms of minimum EBITDA. It depends on circumstances, goals of fundraising. It will depend on several factors like industry, the stage of business, the specific investment requirement, what is the preference of the potential investors. General rule of thumb is having a positive EBITDA, and along with that, a promising EBITDA growth trajectory, right? That is what it takes. See, all it will denote or demonstrate that the company is generating operational profits before considering non-operational factors like whatever interest, taxes, depreciations, and so on, right? So it is, the company actually has a potential of generating cash flow and repaying the debts. That is what is attractive to the investors. So that's what we should go by. There is no percentage which we can really arrive at.
Okay, so we have got questions already in the chat box. So let me start with the first one, which is what is the definition of tech? IoT, ML, AL, ML, other SaaS or companies. How to define tech? I think to some extent it was answered.
That already. I think we already answered that.
We already answered. It is Namrata Hegde who asked that question. I think one is it is answered. The key answer here is, let me just rephrase that to you, Namrata. It is basically the topic of exponential scalability. Whichever you have got, whatever technology you have got, if that enables you to scale exponentially, then you are tech enabled. Is what I understood. Is it correct, Rajiv? What Ramesh also said.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it is basically when any industry or plain vanilla industry solution applies any science, tools, techniques, or processes, right, to create solution which will ultimately help the company improve the efficiency, right? It can be things like software, hardware, electronics, network, analytics, web tool, mobile app, anything that utilizes tools, machines, systems to automate things, right? That's what is technology.
Namrata, since you are in herbals, in addition to what Dr. Rajiv said, see, software is eating the world. That's what normally they say. What it means is, whether you like it or not, it has penetrated. You as a Vega Herbals, you need to have a website. You cannot say that I don't want a website. You like it or not, because of others, because of prospective customers, you need to have a website. Now, your customers wanted to buy your herbal product. Do you want to sell it only in your street, or you want to sell your herbal products anywhere in India or anywhere in the globe? Sitting at your place, in your small street, in your home, you can sell your herbal product anywhere in the world, right? You wanted the world to be your marketplace, or you wanted only your home to be marketplace? Sitting at your home, if you want to sell it to customers in US, do you think what is the way to do it?
The website will be better.
Example. Therefore, whether we like it or not, we need a website. Whether I like it or not, my customer wanted convenience. Whether I like it or not, I need to run my business efficiency. So Dr. Rajiv very well explained in terms of efficiency, scaling, automation, which is right. But I thought I can give the same answer here, Namrata, in your language. I have to sell my herbal anywhere, anytime, any place, easily. In some cases, without while I'm sleeping, if my business should make money, why not?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
That's super. Very good. Very good. The next question was, is reachability the key, Dr. Vinay Kumar? I think that is definitely the most important thing, because if you look at exponential growth, you need to be able to reach the customer. There, how would you look at that reachability? Despite having a tech, maybe the tech is there, but you're not able to reach the customer. So there, I think the understanding of the market focus, market customer, the specific customer plays a big role there. To understand how good the technology or whatever can be reached to the end customer. So can you please share your insights on that, Rajiv ji?
See, reachability ultimately is the key for any business, isn't it? Every effort that any business does, say marketing campaigns or pamphlet distribution in physical stores, advertisements, anything and everything is about reachability. What drives business revenue or profitability is about the footfall. So, and there are different ways to do that. I think that was not a question. I think Vinay Kumar ji just mentioned that it is key is the reachability, and you are right, Vinay ji. I think.
What I wanted to mention is, like, even before the tech, there were brands, like, because of the names which happened to grow. Like if we take Bombay Dyeing or Raymond's, they were already there even without tech. But the thing is, it was their marketing approach. And later, when we are into the tech world, and adaptability is the main key. So when the technology is able to provide that reachability, why not use it? Go for it.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. And see, every decade there is a evolution the way markets works, from industrialization to current digital transformation, right? From sudden boost of big data term to suddenly big data just losing its term, and now it is more about AI, right? Every few years there will be a evaluation. We just need to adopt. And you rightly said that time the kind of competition was that, you know, physical presence and market reach through that physical pamphlet, and just getting a good brand name that, you know, what I am belong to the Tata group. You just sell. You don't need to really market. But current scenario, when the competition is so high, unless your reachability is up to mark, you really can't make it. Every company, whether you come with Tata brand or Birla brand, doesn't matter unless you are able to create that digital brand for yourself.
See, I have a very kind of a philosophical question. See, if suppose the main focus is exponential growth and revenue positivity is something which is mandatory, exponential growth and growth in EBITDA. Now, what about those conventional problems which could get sorted out with brick and mortar industry, which definitely would not have significant growth, but the solution is going to change the way we live. Now, the other day in our chat, there was one lady who was talking about having a solution to detect breast cancer, which was a cheaper or easier solution. Now, imagine if something were like that were there, then possibly the quality of life in our country would improve. But it may not really give you revenue. Neither could you do a technical app or a technology for that.
No.
So what is your recommendation for such startups?
Absolutely. See, I'll tell you. So your question, if I understood correct, is if there is a solution currently coming up, which is very traditional and not tech and not very time, you know, centric, what do we do for those?
Where the scaling up is not possible. See, I've got one of my clients is a guy who makes compostable garbage bags. Okay, compostable.
So you say it's very traditional and it's no tech involved.
But then it is required, right? Today, plastics are not allowed unless you go into compostable products.
I'll pick up the one which you mentioned, Dinakarji. So there is a company exactly which I am currently in discussions with and going to mentor, working in the same breast cancer, diagnostics. See, current scenario, the only possible diagnostic way is mammography, or right, which is if I don't know if any one of you is aware, the mammography test is very painful, right? It's very, very painful, and ladies would know it that you know, and a lot of this tests are done even in males, somewhere it is suspected. The chest is pressed against a solid, a metal body, to the extent that it pains. The chest really pains really bad, right? Now this startup has come up with a solution where we don't have to do this. A drop of blood from the right vein in the chest is taken out, and with that they can detect if there is a breast cancer. So imagine if there was no technology, this wouldn't have happened. This is absolutely tech enabled, right? So it's a tech company. However, if you look at it, it's a traditional solution. It's a blood test. It's just a blood test. So it's a traditional solution, but there is a technology angle. Coming to the garbage disposal bag, right? See how it must be something unique in that bag, right? It's biodegradable, maybe, right?
Compostable, not biodegradable. Compostable is what they say, because biodegradable.
How did he arrive at that fact that it is compostable? He must have done some tech tests, right?
That is because of the starch is used. Starch as a content.
So there is a technology which got involved where the starch and all those testings were
correct, but that technology will not give you exponential growth. That technology.
I'll come to the next part.
Okay.
Is arriving at a solution using tech.
Okay.
And second is now using tech as your enabler to reach the market to get your product dispersed globally. It's a global problem solved. How do you reach global? If you are not tech enabled, Suppose you're not on cloud, or you're not doing marketing, global marketing, you're limited to your village or city or maybe the country at most, right? So there is a tech angle involved here. As the world is shrinking, it's going global. There is a tech enablement possible. How and what level of tech intervention is required is the question, which we need to mutually agree on.
Yeah, and I think listening to you, I also get another thought. When you say no tech, you're also meaning that there is no IP. No, there is no intellectual property owned by the company. That means there is nothing unique which they are doing. If it is run of the mill, then it will not get into the funding line at all. Let us say I want to get into trading space. I am buying rice and selling it. I want to put up a rice shop. And for that, there is no point in going to a VC or somebody to raise funds. Correct?
Okay. So I'll give you a 3x3 matrix for that also as we proceed. There is a way to determine that as well. And I do that. Matrix always helps me think very clearly, very logical.
Correct.
But I'll give you the answer to this. As far as, sorry, what was your question?
I said, if suppose I want to really start a run-of-the-mill business, which is required where I can give employment. Again, see, startup ecosystem is what? One is you're trying to enhance the quality of life.
Correct.
At the same time, you're trying to enhance the wealth in the country. That means you're trying to create employment.
Correct.
The employment can be created by the new age startup companies, which are tech-based and exponential growth and all that. They could also be done by very traditional companies.
Correct.
I want to open up a shop where I do rice sale. Okay, that means I buy rice from wholesale guys and sell it to somebody else somewhere else. So this particular job company is a new startup. In this, I can employ about 10 people.
Correct.
Okay, so I am going to give livelihood for 10 people. So it's a entrepreneurship.
Correct.
So in such a case, how would I talk to any investor, or is it just not possible? I need to only talk about going to a bank and getting some working capital.
Absolutely. So that will depend on the growth ambition of that founder, right? If he is content with the 10 people employment and the amount of money he is making, he will not expand. He doesn't need any interventions, maybe not even investment, bootstrap and do it, right? Or friends and families at most. If he wants to now expand beyond his village or city, he wants to go, say, to intra-cities, obviously he needs to expand. For that, he might need fund as well as tech interventions, or maybe set up franchising model or whatever, set up more shops, physical shops, whatever, right? That needs funds. So the need of the fund can vary, but it will completely depend on the ambition of growth of the founders.
Okay, understood. And also, I think you said another thing which is very important. See, if it is just a activity within his own area with not much amount of ambition to grow, then maybe it is not required. And if it's a conventional business, maybe I started a restaurant. Now I want to grow that restaurant. Again, possibly some kind of intellectual property is required for me to define a process which is patented or which is some kind of a...
That's what slipped out of my mind, so I'll give you an answer to that.
Intellectual property, correct.
Absolutely.
And that is something which is, I think, equally important when you're trying to evaluate a startup.
Very important. So I'll tell you. See, there is a term which we normally use when we are investing in someone. We want to judge the entry barrier.
Okay.
For any solution that a startup has created, right?
Okay.
Typically, how do we create that entry barrier? The best way to create an entry barrier is an IP.
Okay.
As soon as any investor finds that this startup has an IP, there is a big green tick mark, right?
Yeah, understood.
That not only delays the entry into that segment and that solution by any other players, it also prevents them from, getting their solution or product close to this. It will be similar, but it cannot be exactly same. For example, the functionalities of an iPhone and a Samsung, pretty much everything is same. But because of the IPs being different, there are a lot of things which are different.
Yeah, okay. So from this, as a message to all our sittlers, I understand the following. If suppose we want to really tell our sit people as to what way you can get the funding, I think their ambition should increase a lot. In the sense,
absolutely.
For example, I think Namrata it was, right, who was talking about the Ayurvedic product. If Namrata wants to sell that only in her circle, then there is no need for any funding. If Namrata's ambition is to go global and reach out to the global market, sell that in every country, okay, 24/7, then the entire thought process will be different. Then I need technology. I need a phenomenal amount of automation, and a fantastic and a robust supply chain. So all this needs investment. So I think the ambition has a direct link to the funding requirement also. Do you agree?
Absolutely agree. And I'll tell you, I'll just add to that. I have nothing to contradict the statement you made, Dinakar. That is spot on. I'll add to it. See, many times as investor, we get approached by startup founders and startups, and they feel they have already conquered the world. Their idea is the most unique thing ever in the world. They are actually investment ready or investors facing ready, right? And when we actually start evaluating, trust me, we find so many gaps that if they face the investor, they'll be suited in 30 seconds.
Okay.
But the founders think they have jhande gaal chuke hain. We have done everything and we are ready for the funding, right? 90% plus times this happens. Now, where is the gap? The gap is because the founder thinks from his perspective, because he has created the baby from start, right? So he has done.
It's like your own baby, right?
Yes, he thinks it's the best product. Absolutely, no doubt. But we have to see from the perspective of the investor.
Understood.
And I'm just bringing it back to the topic of the day today.
Understood.
When a startup needs to, or starts to approach the market for any reason, he has to step into various stakeholders' shoes and then go. Once the name of a company or a startup is negative in the market, that they came for investment and they did not get it, trust me, it will be very difficult for them to get it ever.
Okay, understood.
With the right product, very good investment pitch, your deck should be perfect, your delivery should be perfect, all documents covered, then go out for funding.
Understood.
Ramesh, also to add your thoughts.
Yes.
See, finally, whether I am doing a rice business, tomato business, or I'm doing a very, very bigger corporations business is all about profits.
Correct.
Profits is nothing but my expenses versus income. You can make more profit only if either cost comes down or you are able to get more price from customers.
Yeah.
But customer will hesitate, hey, you charged me yesterday X, today you are asking 2X. I will go to your competitor, bye, they may say. So you will get fear. So naturally, you are inclined towards cost optimization. Whatever you can do on cost optimization, do that first. Then see either through my patent or value, my uniqueness, can I also up my premium price? Therefore, my price is also gone up, my cost also come down. Therefore, my ability to generate more profit has come. Therefore, thumb rule is whether family or my own purse or whether my business, whether rice or tomato, cost optimization versus profitability demands either you say the word called automation or you use a word called technology. So if I take your rice run-of-the-mill business, let us say that no technology. Today, I sell 10 rice bags every day. 2 laborers, 1 manager called Dinakar sits and sell it. Am I happy? Am I making profit? Yes. But now I still, Dinakar, sell 100 rice bags. You will say, I will need 10 more laborers. I will have a few more offices place. But Dinakar cannot replicate himself. But he can sell 100 rice bags extra. But hey, Dinakar, are you making more money, more profits? He will say no. Because there is no relationship established in terms of by selling 100 more rice bags, I am not able to show higher profitability. That means you cannot grow. Where is the money to grow your business? So by taking the wisdom of Dr. Rajiv or taking whatever interpretations you said with other examples, the simple thumb rule is I wanted my profit to be maximized. I wanted my cost to be optimized. In order to achieve that, what is that I can do by process, automation, tools, technique is what any entrepreneur will play the play. If you do it extraordinarily smart, your system itself will generate cash. You don't need investors. You use your own customers' money, you grow the business. There are so many companies, right? Zogo, for example, no investors' money. But Zogo is one of the billion-dollar enterprise gone somewhere else, right? Whereas other companies, took investors' money, and they were on par with Zoho, above par with Zoho.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing like right or wrong here. The point is, Zoho is an inspiration for you. Use your own money to grow the company biggest extent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There comes all the answers, Dinakar.
Yeah, understood.
So, do we have enough time for covering, what should be the valuation of companies based on various parameters, or should we keep it for next?
No, I think we'll do it for the next time. If,
then in that case, keeping in mind that we are left with just 7 minutes, let me give some simple things. See, for any startup, okay. So next session, what we can cover is, what are the various, what is first money, pre-money, post-money, and how do we arrive at pre-valuation guidelines, right? If you're a tech company, revenue making and growth, the 3x3 parameter which we spoke about, we'll create that next time. Today we had 2x2 parameter. Right?
Yeah.
Next session we'll create this 3x3 parameter, and I'll tell you the guideline in terms of your valuation should be what, around say 5 times of your annual revenue, on what basis, and so on. So today, to end the session, we'll just talk about 2 things. And to make the session interactive, I want everyone to please respond and talk. There are only 2 strategies in any business, be it any industry, right? You take a tech industry, agriculture, or fishing, or farming, or any industry, food industry, any industry, there are only 2 strategies. If anyone says there is a third one, they are wrong. It has to fall in this 2 buckets. Either the business has a cost strategy where you are trying to keep your cost down and make money. Second strategy is your quality strategy. You don't bother about how much price it goes to, rate it goes to the customer. You are only focused on creating your best of the quality. There's no third strategy to work in any business, any industry, right? That is one. Second, I have a question for everyone, and I will not talk unless I get answers from everyone, right? What does any startup or business or entrepreneur, they get into business to do? What is the ultimate objective of any business? And I want everyone to put on chat.
So either chat or you can speak also.
Yeah,
I think it is
speak or chat.
It is about making money. The growth, making money is what the objective, in my opinion, is. And instead of quality, I would replace the word with value. Now it could be value because quality is something which keeps changing over time, right? Value is also something which keeps changing over time. Value possibly is much more than quality. So I feel startup objective is maximizing profit and contributing something to the society. 2 objectives are there for any founder, in my opinion. Hemant, please go on.
I would say the contribution to the society, whether you're making money. It's good if you're making money, but at least I need the satisfaction that I did something for someone. I mean, as far as my product is concerned, I want to make it easy. I mean, the kind of GST accounting, I want to make that easy so that everyone can understand. I mean, entrepreneurs must not need a CA for their numbers or to generate even a single invoice. They are dependent on accountant and CAs. And I kept pricing is too low to reach out each and every corner of India than only the metro cities. So I want everyone to learn and is making everyone independent. Whether I make very much money or not, that I have kept as secondary parameter to myself.
Super. Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Namrata, you wanted to say something?
The main purpose is to contribute to the health of the society. And obviously, if we are into a startup, we will also want to make money out of it. Since I am a researcher, I want to make use of my knowledge to contribute to the society while making money out of it as well.
Super. Thank you. Anybody else want to add? Otherwise, go on, Dr. Rajiv ji.
Okay, so
Dr. Rajiv, what is your answer? Why are you doing business?
Absolutely. No, and it's not about me doing business. See, this was a question many years back when I was at Stanford University. So this was, but I forgot his name. He was a senior most professor of economics at that time at Stanford. And he asked this question in front of 7,000 plus entrepreneurs, right? And he shot down every answer. He said, if anyone gives any answer other than making money, you're wrong. Okay. And one line he added after that. And I love to repeat that. He said, especially the ones who says, I want to do business to contribute to the society, please get out of the class. Those are all craps which people give to give for an internal satisfaction and peace. But ultimately, whatever you do, even if it's very small money, if you're not making money, you are not getting into that business. Some money has to be there. So the first objective of any startup or even NGO or anything is to make money. Please, let's keep that objective in mind. Then all you can do is you can say, making money will be my secondary objective. Maybe. Or it can be byproduct of my business, what I am starting. But it has to be there, for sure. Then you can say, okay, I am here to contribute to the society doing this. And as byproduct, I'll also make money. You can rephrase your sentences in whatever way, but making money should be part of it. Right? That's very important. Coming back to Dinakarji, your thing in terms of why I feel that quality and cost are the only strategies. The value thing is a perception of every individual. For me, for example, if I am going to buy a shirt in a showroom, I might like the quality of the clothes. That's adding value to me. If Rameshji goes, he just likes the color. He's bothered about if it's blue in color, I'll buy it. I don't know about the quality of the clothes. So what is adding value to Rameshji is the color of the shirt. You go and you say, you know what, the sales girl spoke very nicely to me. So that is adding value to me. It's a good customer service that added value to me. So I'll buy the shirt from this guy, right? Suppose Namrata goes and she says, you know what, I don't care. It's Ellen Solly and I just buy it. So the brand has added value to her. So brand value is a perception of every individual, but quality is not. Quality is quality. Either you are giving good quality or you are doing it at an optimal cost.
Yeah, but I don't think we need to debate. But in my wisdom, value is more comprehensive, because when you look at any company,
most important thing,
you need to build up the brand. You need to make sure that the service is done correctly, and quality is something which is a prerequisite. Without quality, you cannot even survive in the industry. So from that perspective, I personally feel value would be a better word, because it's more comprehensive.
Absolutely.
Now, you need to really work on the value which you can deliver to the customer.
True.
And cost, of course, there is no doubt at all on that. So thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And LK, nice that you joined quite late, but still you joined. You could make it. Thank you so much. And then with that, we will come to an end. And today's session, I think, in my opinion, was very, very interesting. I will also share this slide which I prepared in terms of the matrix, which was shared by Dr. Rajiv Dalmia, so that all of you can have a look and then use that as a guide, and make sure that the ambition of all the startups has to increase exponentially in our SID team if you have to get funding. That's a message which I will conclude, which is on a very positive note.
It's just like maths. We have to aim for 100. We land up maybe in 80 or 90.
So the ambition has to increase. So thanks a lot. Thank you so much. And then we'll just take a small photo in case all of you can just switch on your screens. I will go to the gallery mode and then take a snap of all of us. Anybody else? Dr. Vinay Kumar, then you got Kalpana is there. Okay. Sovik Mukherjee, Tejaswini, and they are not there, I think. So that's okay. Not a problem. So we take a snap of that. With that, thank you so much. And then have a nice weekend. Let's meet next week again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Ram Ram, everyone. Ram Ram.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Dr. Rajiv.